Hey everybody, it's Dana and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be playing with the August 2022 My Monthly Hero Kit from Hero Arts. Within this month's kit, you're going to get a 3x4 clear stamp set, 4 A2 color layering stencils, 4 ink cubes, coordinating dies, 5 Luxe White, watercolor paper, and some pearl in this gorgeous super bronze color, and that's going to be 3 grams, which works out to be 0.11 ounces. So with this kit you're going to be able to make gorgeous cards just from using some layering stencils. All right, are we ready to get into the card? Now for my color choices, I'm using the pink grapefruit ink, I'm using pale tomato, raspberry jam, and plum. I know, kind of different colors, but I wanted this to be a really striking card. I'm also going to be pulling out my Hero Arts blending tools for this. So let's go ahead and get to making the card. So to keep everything in order, I am going to grab a silicone mat and place in a piece of paper. Now this paper is larger than I need, but this is going to help me with my stenciling. I will place my stencil right on top of that cardstock, but these stencils have little squares in each corner. So I'm going to mark those off with a pencil. Now, if you did not have this silicone mat, you can follow the same exact instructions that I'm showing you here. Next, I'm going to just grab a piece of tape to keep my cardstock in place. And then I'm also going to grab a smaller piece just to make a hinge at the top so my stencil does not move. All right, let's get to blending. My first color is going to be this gorgeous pink grapefruit. This is a new color by Hero Arts and I absolutely love it. So with the blending brush, I am going to come in and place down some of that ink. Now I'm not going super heavy handed with this because I want to make sure, since the colors are kind of bold but in close in color, as in like color theory, they're very close. I want to make sure that you're going to be able to see each layer. So I'm going in very lightly, filling in this entire stencil. Now once I have that complete, I can go ahead and lift this up and I have my first layer. And look how gorgeous that is. That right there to me could be a gorgeous card. Now what I want to point out to you as well is each stencil is labeled. So the first stencil I used was A and this one is B. So you also have, if you're just a little bit confused on what goes where, you have those indicators at the bottom what stencil is what. All right, now we can go ahead and slide out that pink grapefruit and I'm going to come in with that pale tomato. Now this, like I said, is a coloring layering stencil. I'm going to use the same exact blending tool that I had because all of my colors are very similar in nature. So I will go ahead and start loading up my brush, and this time I am going to press and blend a little bit harder because I want that pale tomato to really pop off of that pink grapefruit. As you can see as well, I do tap off some of the ink on the bottom of the paper. Now mind you, I'm not going to use this whole panel, so tapping off on the bottom is okay because that's going to be cut off. Once I feel I have all of this covered, then I can go ahead and pull this layer off. And now you're going to start seeing that image build up. Look how pretty. And of course, these colors work perfectly together. Now again, if you just want to stop there, you could, but we're going to keep going. We're going to start adding a little bit more detail to this. Now that's what I do love about this style of layering stencils is that you can stop at any point. In my opinion, any point on this, I could have stopped right at those 2 layers and been done. But I do want to come in with that raspberry jam. So I'm going to grab another blending brush and I'm going to kind of clean it off on the side, make sure I don't have any residue left over from something I previously did. I'm going to tap that off on the bottom of that paper just to make sure I have the color I need, and then I will go in with that 3rd layer. Now this layer I am doing a medium pressure to this. I'm not going super hard with this, just a light medium pressure just to get that part of the stencil number 3 covered up. Then I can pull this back and voila, look at this. This is where I can say, okay, I can stop now and I can be happy. But we have one more stencil to go. And that stencil is going to add the detail to this, to the 3rd stencil that we use. So the cactus or cacti, I think it's more than one. I think it's cacti, but don't quote me because I'm really bad at that. So we're just gonna keep rolling along with this. I'm going to grab my plum ink. I'm going to kind of tap it off on the side at first, clean it off, make sure I'm getting the color that I want, and then I can go ahead and build up this last color. Now this last color, I think you can totally do in any of the new waxes that we have, or you can do it in any of the new paste that we have. I think the gold hero paste will look marvelous as the last adding detail to this buildable stencil. All right, now I can go ahead and pull this back and look how gorgeous this is. I love this color combination. We have some pinks and we have some darker pinks, and it really works together. All right, so I now need to trim down this card. So I am going to line it up right where the stencil marks are, so I have no whites on my side. And I'm using my guillotine trimmer for this. And I just try to make this a hair smaller than a A2 card. So it's like a quarter smaller than an A2 card and just a smidget more. So now I want to go ahead and add in my sentiment. So within this sentiment, I think there's like 14, if I'm not mistaken, sentiments, and there's also dies that you can use. But for my card today, I chose not to use the dies. But here you can see how they line up perfectly with the cactus on here. Or you can cut out the top and like remove the sun and just have the mountain range. Totally up to you. So I'm just looking to see which one of these sentiments I want to use. I love the fact that some of these sentiments are thicker, and then some of them are more of a delicate font. So as you can see, we also have ones that have a thicker and a thinner together. I'm kind of like a font snob. I really am. I love pretty fonts, and I love when Hero Arts mixes their fonts. I think it just gives our cards just a little bit more of a zhuzh, as I want to say, in how our fonts are used. All right, so I went ahead and I picked out a font, and at first I thought, oh, maybe I'll do a white piece of paper and cover it up and do my sentiment across. But then I chose, nope, I do not want to cover up any of this gorgeousness. So I am just going to line my sentiment up kind of in the middle, a little bit more to the left. And once I have that in place and I know where I want it, I can go ahead and close down my Misty lid. Now the design team has done a whirlwind of color combinations on this, you guys. Now you can use the inks that are in the kit and they will be absolutely gorgeous, but think outside the box with these core inks from Hero Arts. Find ones that you know look great together, and you're going to be so happy with your results. Now I do have a Pinterest board of color inspirations, so you can check that out as well. I'll make sure to put that in the link below. Now I did use the Plum core ink to stamp this, and I want to bring in a little bit more of that. So I went ahead and grabbed some of the new Plum paper, and it matches perfectly. And I think using that darker color is really going to make this panel pop. So all I have to do at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and trim this piece of paper down. Now I am going to trim this down to fit an A2 card panel. And then we'll come back and we'll go ahead and put the card together. Now I love using the already scored side cards and top folding cards from Hero Arts. It just really makes my life so much easier. So I have my panel here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my glue pen. Now you could use adhesive on this, but I love, love, love my precision glue from Hero Arts. It's one of my favorites. It sits on the side of my desk. And I'm not just saying that because I work with Hero Arts. I'm saying it because I really, really love this glue. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the back of the panel that we stenciled. And then I'm going to use my grid mat to kind of help me line this up. And look how beautiful this card looks with just having that little bit of Plum cardstock. It really does make the top layer kind of stand out and not be washed out if I put this just on a white on white background. Now again, if you have any excess inks, I think I said this in a video before, instead of pushing your card panel outward, push inward, and that's going to keep that glue from like kind of squirting out on the sides. And just a reminder, if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can see more inspiration that I make with these kits. And speaking of the kits, if you are a subscriber, the kit is only $34.99. If you purchase the content separately, the cost would be about $75. So it's really a bargain when you get the kits. And make sure to subscribe, because once these kits sell out, they sell out. So I have my card panel, and look how gorgeous this looks. Now, I didn't really want to add any gems to this. I really wanted the color to kind of speak for the design. But if you've watched my channel, you know I like to add a little bit of shimmer to things. So I went ahead and just grabbed out a shimmer pen. And I'm just going to add some of this shimmer to certain parts of the stencil. Sorry about that. I don't want to add it to everything. So I'm just going to kind of add it to the moon and the parts that were done with the third and fourth layer. And again, that's just going to give it a tad bit of shimmer. So I'll go ahead and bring this up and kind of tilt that. And you can see the shimmer just on the darker pink bits. All right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you guys in another video soon. Until then, take care.